Good morning, Jim. Good morning, America. Of course, today we are going to review the gang up on President Trump last night during the debates. But first, we need to speak about what the day truly means. Today's the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. We're going to get into those details again, show you some videos, just in case you forgot, because here at Two Guys, One Coup, we haven't and never will forget that tragic day. So all that and some more on what, Jim?
Live from the Patriots Prayer Network. It's
what?
Two Guys, One Coup.
Wake the hell up, America.
Lost in the crowd, truth hides deep, buried in the noise. Left hand deals lies, can't stifle the choice. Fight back rage, flames in the night. No more chains, break free from the fright. Eyes clear now, vision in the dark. We stand up, never bow to the mark. We are the storm, we are the fight. Two guys, one coup, bringing light. No more lies, no more games. Stand tall and truth, break the chains. They spit and scream, push buttons in the dark. Yet we rise, never crumble in the park. Paint our faces with colors bright. March ahead in the dead of night. Shattered dreams won't silence us now. Left and right mix poison in the vow. But we see through, we feel the beat.
We are back, folks. Before we usually go right to Grit Gear and their commercial, which we will do. And I want to thank Rich at Grit Gear for pointing this next video out. This would be our good friend Ryan Weaver, who performed at the Warrior Weekend for the Warrior Shield Foundation and who has been on the show. So a good friend of the show, good friend to us, good friend of Grit Gear, good friend of veterans, two-time Gold Star family member, Ryan Weaver. He performed on Huckabee's show back in 2021 for the 20th anniversary of 9/11. We're going to bring that video to you right now. Jim, I'm going to present that.
Yeah, go ahead. To be able to say a friend of ours.
Yeah, it is. Yes, so many friends.
He's fantastic. Yeah, he's fantastic.
So many patriotic friends. It's unbelievable now. So let's watch this, Jim, and we'll be right back. Well, yeah, be right back.
I walked in towards between building 4 and 5, what was left of them, towards the sphere. And I said, Chief, if you get me 2 firemen with a ladder, I'm going to put a flag up for our guys there. And so as I'm reaching out to put it through a hollow pipe, the flag started to unfurl itself, and I heard the fire battalion chief yell out, "Freeze! Oh!" You know, these guys were foreign military, and it was important for them to see a flag. It was a heavy hit on this country, you know, and it was a heavy hit with us. You know, we were New York City. You know, we can't forget those we lost.
Standing alone, I imagine your face. And smiling when you said goodbye yesterday. And you were my hero, my heart, and my everything. I'll hold on to hurt so you won't fade away. Never forgotten, oh no, you're not gonna disappear. forgotten. They don't remember, but we let them know. Each time we read all their stories in stone. This was someone's daddy, their mama, their everything. In a field of reminders, they're not coming home. Never forgotten, oh no, they're not gonna disappear. And although they're gone, we promise we'll keep them near. They might be one of the fallen, never forgotten. Never forgotten, reminded of you in your daughter's eyes. And sometimes she smiles when she falls, almost never cries. Never forgotten, oh no, you're not gonna disappear. And although you're gone, oh, I promise I'll keep you near. You might be one of the fallen, never forgotten. They might be one of the fallen, never forgotten.
Well, I'm telling you, if that doesn't get you right there.
Yep.
And what some of you might not notice, and again, I will thank Rich for pointing this out, is in the background, you're seeing a lot of the family members of those that lost their lives that day. And also, you're seeing his brother's tombstone, Aaron, who lost his life in a medevac helicopter as it was attacked. You see his daughter at his gravesite, his wife at his gravesite. I mean, that is just, that gets you, man. That gets you. So, Rich at Grit Gear, and Lock and Load, Grit Gear Apparel and Lock and Load, thank you so much for directing us to that. It's an honor for us to play it here, and an honor to know that man right there. So, what an amazing song.
And you noticed the shirt he had on.
I did. The Afghanistan shirt.
Right. Great gear.
Great gear.
Folks, Ryan Weaver, go out and check his music out.
Please.
RyanWeaver.com, I believe.
Please.
That's one of the great songs he sings. I mean, he's so passionate. He's so speechless right now because of the fact, what today is, what that song is about.
Yep.
And we still have people out there that want to forget. Forget what happened.
Yeah, and we mentioned last episode that we had met Karen Bingham, Mark Bingham's mother, and I listened to that song, and I can just think about her and what she's gone through, along with 2,997 civilians and 80 firefighters and police and first responders, and it makes you really appreciate the fact that these people go on, that they do remember, and then it angers you at how we have forgotten as a nation what this day meant. So
23 years ago. And
it's a short time
every time at the weekend, somebody brought something up, she was crying.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
50 years. People are still going to feel it. And
correct.
If you guys want to hide if there's people out there that want to bury their heads and forget about stuff, I have no respect for you.
I don't either.
This is you and I talked before, and I know we'll get into the commercial, but
Yeah,
you and I remember where we were at on 9/11.
we do.
Anybody who was alive during my daughter,
Yeah,
my son, remember where
correct,
they were at.
where they were
Okay,
on that day.
Um,
I'm going to
and,
tell that
well,
story.
My daughter wouldn't. Excuse me. My son remembers what was going on 9/11. But I got to tell you, everybody wants to talk about January 6th.
Yeah.
Where were you? We talked about it. Where were you on January 6th? I don't know.
My living
I
room
don't know.
doing
I probably
something.
heard about it, like you said. We heard about it in maybe a few hours that there was something going on.
And I looked and I said,
and-
"What's happening?"
No,
Yeah.
it's not. You can't compare the two. You just can't.
So I will. We'll play Grit Gear here real quick, and
Yeah.
then I'll come back. I'll tell a story. Maybe you could tell your story of where you were, and then we have other videos to play, just to remind people truly the tragedy on that day and the attack on our country, and mainly because of our fear of it happening again, not in the way it did, but in new, probably even more devastating ways, thanks to the open borders. Jim, let's get Grit Gear in here real quick.
Grit is defined as firmness of character, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. At Grit Gear Apparel, we honor all military, police, fire, public service, and patriotic Americans, both men and women regardless of color, creed, or religion. Our brand represents the love and freedom for our country, the heroism of all our men and women, and the principles of what this wonderful country was built on. Our goal is to regenerate the sense of patriotism and to spark the American pride within us, to stand together in the toughest times and become victorious, to preserve all our freedoms, to honor our flag, and to respect the men and women who have fought and died for us to have these freedoms. Wear our brand with pride, with a sense of patriotism, and as a statement for the love of our country. Whether you're military, public official, or civilian, our brand is for you. Together we stand as Americans.
Now remember that, folks. Together we stand as Americans. We did on that day.
Everybody.
We need to again. GritGearApparel.com, LockandLoadCoffee.com. Please, please, please support these truly amazing human beings. Veteran supported, family owned and operated. You've heard the spiel. They're just amazing human beings. And great.
We the people shirt on today.
Great. Amazing stuff.
And you get a
anyways,
little army
please.
guy with each.
You do. Each one. A little army guy. I got a green and a silver one now. So I'm going to start battling them. I'm going to keep ordering.
Get a silver one with the next order I placed.
I got a silver one. You don't, brother.
No, I don't. Not yet.
Well, it's not who you know. It's who I know.
That's
Anyways,
exactly.
yeah. So please go support them. They're just truly
Everybody
amazing
likes you
people
better.
in
You know?
general.
Come on. Everybody likes you better. We know that.
Oh yeah.
Hell, my own
Yeah.
family likes you better than me.
and people who do like me, and I appreciate it and thank them, you'll like Rich and Sharon at Grit Gear even better.
Oh my God.
I can't even walk in their
But
shoes.
But it's funny because we
I'm
pointed
not
this out.
worthy of it.
We tried to get Sharon on our show last when we were
did.
over the weekend. She just refused to come on, but she's in that very first scene of the video of the
I've
commercial.
never told anybody that. We've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
told anybody that.
Yeah.
So she's on anyways. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Folks, so let's get back into this. Briefly before we play some videos and all that, I do want to tell the story of where I was 23 years ago today. So oddly enough and strangely enough, I was at a different company. It was a different life. I was VP of sales for this company. I was to be in Long Island on September 10th, Long Island, New York, visiting a customer who makes hatches and doors for submarines and ships and all that out there. At the same time, we had a trade show for this company I work for in Chicago, Illinois. And the sales rep, unfortunately, was going through an illness. So I took his place at that show and I drove from Northeastern Ohio. I was living up Northeastern Ohio at the time to Chicago instead of a flight to Long Island. It would have been pretty damn close, right? To all that. Regardless, needless to say, that's where I went. I remember getting up on that Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. And I'm sitting in front of the TV and I'm watching ABC News. I don't know why. Maybe back then it just wasn't Fox or something, but it was on. And in the background was the World Trade Center. And I'm sitting there and I get one shoe on, I get showered, I get sitting down, I get one shoe on. Of course, we're an hour behind Eastern time. We're in Central there in Chicago. And I'm getting my other shoe on, and all of a sudden, bam, behind the reporter, an explosion at the Trade Center. What the hell's going on? That's weird. Like a plane, like literally accidentally just hit the World Trade Center, New York. I mean, what happened? You know, engine failure. You know what went through everybody's minds at the time. And then I'm sitting there, and the second one, as I'm watching the news of it, the second one hits. Immediately, I called my wife. She was working for university hospitals in downtown Cleveland at the time. Our daughter was at school. Our son was at school. She had taken him to school that morning. And I call her. I say, you got to turn on the TV. Like, this is like we're under attack. Now, this is not an accident. The second one's not an accident. She did. She immediately left her office, went to the lobby, turned the TV on, and boom, there it was. And from that point forward, the rest is almost a blur.
Right.
It's almost an entire blur. Watching the footage, of course, they canceled the trade show that day, so we were all down in the lobbies everywhere, just focused on the television, trying to figure out, oh my God. And then, of course, you hear about the plane in the Pentagon, and then you hear about the one in Pennsylvania, which is, of course, where Mark Bingham and 3 others rushed the cockpit, the whole let's roll thing, and Flight 93, and took that plane down before it reached its target. It was crazy. And then the stories I heard afterwards, you know, at a hospital in a major city, there are a lot of variations of ethnicities there, right? My wife actually witnessed Arabs laughing and cheering that this was happening. This is what they wanted. This is what they were hoping for, and it's coming again.
Gaza,
It's coming again. Huh?
The Palestinians cheered too.
Cheered too. Absolutely cheered that it happened. Free Palestine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's and then of course my wife's scrambling to get out of town to get to our children. That was her first thought. Like, I got to get my kid from school. We didn't know what was going to happen. Nobody knew, right? How big is this going to be? How devastating is this going to be? What cities is this happening in? The flight itself, Flight 93, I think turned around actually over the Cleveland airspace. And then you're just like, what is going on? And she got to the school and our daughter was gone. You know, our daughter at the time was only just turned 6. Well, one of our friends had picked her up, didn't notify us. Of course, that was, I mean, there were cell phones, but I mean, you needed a car phone. It was hard, right? Communicating back then. But anyways, that worked out, and the friend picked her up and she got the kids and all that. And then for an absolute week after, no planes in the sky, no air noise, everything shut down. The world stopped, but the United States was united in this fight. Now, you can, from this point forward, say, okay, it was a planned attack. The buildings came down. There's a lot of theories on what actually took place, but I know what did take place, and that's over 3,000 Americans lost their lives. That took place.
Yep.
How it happened, we can debate that from now until the end of time. But 3,000 Americans, citizens of the country, lost their lives that day due to terrorist attacks. Where it came from, you can also debate that. We know Saudi Arabia was involved, of course, at this time. There's a lot we know now.
Right.
It didn't matter. At the time, it was the most incredibly devastating, sad, angry. I mean, you name the emotion, you had it on that day. I know exactly what I was doing. I know exactly where I was, exactly what took place. And I will never forget.
Yep.
And we're not going to let you forget either. Jim, I don't know. Where were you?
Well, I won't. We got we got a lot to show, but I was at work, and it's.
I don't care how long this show takes.
Well, it's okay. And I remember and everybody will remember that they thought it was a little commuter plane.
They did
a
it first.
Smaller plane that hit
Correct.
it, and then you watch the video. No way.
No
There's no way that would have made that much damage.
Yep. Correct.
And so it's like, okay, what's going on? And then you started hearing all this stuff. You started hearing rumors. And then as you're watching, you saw live the second plane go in. And then that's when you realize that we were under attack. And and so I too was, we were all watching around the television at work, and called my wife. She was panicking and freaking out, and she actually called me for the first plane, which caused us to look.
Yes.
Right. Caused us to get on there. And it was just, you look at it, and I just want to point out, and I'm trying not to panic people. The same people that did that on 9/11 came through our borders with the open border policy in the last 3 years.
Correct.
There are a bunch of them here. Don't try to kid yourself. They're here.
No,
they're planning something.
Yes.
And I hope I'm wrong, but it's going to be soon.
Yes. It's going to be soon.
Like last night, Nate made a great argument that it could be a cyber attack.
Could be a cyber attack. Absolutely. It's going to look different. It's not going to be planes and buildings. It's going to look different. It's going to be devastating.
The closer that it looks like President Trump is going to win, the closer that it looks like they're not going to be able to cheat without getting caught.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. They cannot let President Trump be president. They just can't.
And they will not at all costs.
But I just remember the statement, and that's why when you see people badmouth policemen, okay, there's some bad ones out there. I'm not going to get into
that. There's bad humans.
Guys, as people were running from the building, these firefighters and policemen ran in.
Yep.
They ran in, not knowing what was going to happen. Not knowing what was going to happen, they ran in.
Correct.
So, say what you want, folks. We're not going to let people forget.
We are not.
Because we will never forget. Because of when you forget the people that lost their lives. You forget the heroes that lost their lives. You forget
the reason why.
I can't remember it, but an entire fire department lost every single member.
Correct.
You just
husbands.
Yes.
Fathers.
Newborns.
Sons.
Or
brothers.
women that were pregnant.
Yes.
The father died.
Yes.
Wives. I mean, there's wives.
Yes.
Mothers.
Yes.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. We're gonna play, and I know some people don't like to review it. And some people don't like watching it. I know for one, my wife absolutely can't stand.
Here's a comment.
Oh, I was in a staff meeting, and my pager was blowing up about those events. Very sad day in their history. Yeah, thank you for the comment. That's absolutely true. Everybody's remembers it. Everybody knows what's happening. Morning, guys. Never forget. Yep. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. We will never forget. Again, so we're going to play some videos. Yep. We've probably all saw these before in the past. Grit Gear, there are but a few things in life where if you were alive, you remember exactly where you were and what you were doing the moment you heard Pearl Harbor, JFK, 9/11. Yep. Not January 6th, by the way. Thank you, Rich. Appreciate that. So anyways, these videos, I'm sure everybody knows these videos and have seen them before, but they need to be played, and they need to be played all the time. We cannot forget this. And the Democrats certainly are never, ever going to remind you of why this happened and what took place and what caused it. And you mentioned it, open borders. It's insane how history is repeating itself.
Exactly.
That's the sad part. But let's get with this first one here. Is the moment the first plane hits the tower. I think you remember this, everybody, but let's try this.
Look at this, 2 broken windows.
Everything that's going on around our world.
Can you imagine family watching that, knowing you can't get a hold of you can't get a hold of anybody, and then you see it come down.
And then you see it come down. Yep. That's incredible footage. That's what took place on that day.
And the people on those planes, when the first 2 were hijacked, they had no idea what was going on. They knew
No
they were
idea.
hijacked. They had no idea. And not thank God, but when the night flight 93 in Pennsylvania, when they heard what was going on and they heard it was hijacked, they weren't having they saved lives.
Correct.
So
correct. I have a couple other videos I do want to play. This one's a little grainy, and but I think you'll remember some of this happening as well before the towers fell. That's the jumper. People were jumping.
Well, you saw the
From that
ones
building.
trying to climb down, with the,
Yes.
they were putting stuff out, and some people just jumped. They held
Some
hands
people
and jumped.
just jumped and said,
it was-
"There's nothing we can do about it." Here's some helicopter footage too. I want to show. Spectacularly beautiful Tuesday, September morning in New York. A couple more, Jim, and this one's some onlookers that so whether you were there, whether you weren't, we all felt the same. But here's some footage of that.
There's going to be people that are going to be upset that we're doing this, because when people get upset with Fox News, because they do the same thing. They don't let anybody forget. Newsmax is probably going to do the same thing. OAN is probably going to do the same thing.
Correct.
We do this because we let our guard down.
Yeah.
There were signs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, there's people here trying to learn how to fly a plane, but they don't want to learn how to land.
There were signs. People were notified.
Right.
Correct.
So we're here again. We're being distracted. We're letting these idiots distract us.
Correct.
From what is truly going on. And
correct.
And I'm just afraid right now we're distracted again.
Yes, I am too.
And we're letting our guard down. And as a country, we can't do that. We do not want to go. We can't afford to go through another 9/11.
Nope.
We can't.
Cannot.
And
we're already a weak America because of leadership. Can you imagine?
For all of you people that are pro-Palestine and all the stuff,
pro-Hamas, let's just say it.
Go back and watch the video.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and watch the
Mhm.
video of them cheering. Pakistan people coming out in the streets, hollering, putting their hands in the
Yep.
air, cheering,
cheering for that
because we are the United
on
States
our soil, in this country, on our soil. Unbelievable. Last one I'm going to play today, folks, is just a video of the dust cloud. Just so you know, it wasn't just those people in the buildings. It wasn't just the first responders. This affected, and even took some years for cancer to set in, for just from the debris and the smoke and the cloud of smoke and all that stuff.
Thank you, Buckeye. Continue to do it. It's because people like you that allows us to never forget, like the left wants us to.
Yep. Thank you, Buckeye. Got any more comments before I play this one?
Yeah, we got just a couple more here. Yes, JFK quote, all of us remember that moment in that day and time.
Correct.
Grit gear again. So many souls, and yet we are divided again. And so we're putting our guard down.
We are. It's history repeating itself in the bad way. Horrific is, it's absolutely horrific. And I think, I don't know if you guys notice, I'm sorry, excuse me, that I don't think there was quite a difference between there wasn't any race issues going on when this all happened. Black, white, Asian, Mexican, Latino. I mean,
our Congress stood together.
Our Congress stood together. Correct.
And
yes.
didn't they stand out and say the Pledge of Allegiance?
They did.
I mean, you could tell some of the Democrats didn't want to do that, but
of course they didn't.
They had to feel united. We were together that day.
We were together.
Nobody was upset that abortion was put back to the states. Nobody was upset because the border's open.
Yep.
Nobody was. We all came together for one thing and one thing only: to help each other, other through it.
What Americans do best. What Americans do best.
Yep.
And are not at this point. So one last video, Jim, then we'll move on.
Yep. We saw videos of people coming out of that covered in dust, covered. I mean,
bleeding, and it was a war zone, and it was a war that was declared on.
We'll never
the United
forget,
States.
guys. The images are there. I mean, you showed those videos, but we know it. We've seen it, but we just need to keep putting it and reminding everybody what happens when you let your guard down.
Correct.
What happens when we become divisive? Yeah, I'm not happy with Kamala Harris. I'm absolutely not happy, and we'll get into the debate here in a minute. Not happy at all. But I love this country.
Yes.
And I'm against her because she's against this country.
Correct.
And evidence out there shows she is.
Yes.
She can say whatever she wants. So that's why we fight. That's why you and I are on this show. That's why we're doing it. We don't want to be part of the problem. We're going to be part of the solution. And that's to go out and try and make as many people as we can listen. Because we can't have another 9/11. Because if it's another 9/11, I personally believe it would. If we have another 9/11, it's going to be twice as bad.
At a minimum,
spread out. It's not just going to be in New York.
No, it'll be spread out throughout this country.
Imagine if our grid goes down.
No,
just imagine if the grid goes down, folks.
Listen, I think I told the story.
I
went to a freaking gas station where none of they couldn't open their cash drawers, the ATMs, and the pumps weren't working, credit card wasn't working, and it was mayhem.
Yep.
For 30 minutes, this happened. So can you imagine? Yes.
Do you trust this DEI administration?
I do not.
To protect us?
No, absolutely not. I think that's obvious.
To death, people. Yeah. Scared to. They can't even protect the president.
Correct.
And by the way, still don't know anything about the shooter.
Still don't. We still know nothing about him. Anyways, 8 EMTs and paramedics, 60 police officers, 343 firefighters, 2,999 civilians, all remembered and will never be forgotten. Not by us. Not by us.
If we had time, we'd say their names, but
Yep, correct. But not by us. Jim, let's hear from Grit Gear real quick, and we'll come back. We'll talk about that absolute abysmal display by moderators at the debate yesterday, and the fools that are going to fall for it. So be right back, folks.
Grit is defined as firmness of character, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. At Grit Gear Apparel, we honor all military, police, fire, public service, and patriotic Americans, both men and women regardless of color, creed, or religion. Our brand represents the love and freedom for our country, the heroism of all our men and women, and the principles of what this wonderful country was built on. Our goal is to regenerate the sense of patriotism and to spark the American pride within us, to stand together in the toughest times and become victorious, to preserve all our freedoms, to honor our flag, and to respect the men and women who have fought and died for us to have these freedoms. Wear our brand with pride, with a sense of patriotism, and as a statement for the love of our country. Whether you're military, public official, or civilian, our brand is for you. Together we stand as Americans.
Yep, we stand as Americans together. Thank you.
GritGearApparel.com, folks.
Mhm.
Please go out, support them. Great individuals. But again, it's patriotism.
Yes,
It's-
correct.
It's about being America. And today is one of those days that maybe we should remember what this country is, who
That's
we
right. And
are
who
as
we
a
are.
country. And
LockandLoadCoffee.com as well.
Can't
Please.
can't
please,
explain it
please.
better, folks.
Yep.
Excellent tasting coffee.
Yeah.
The aroma is great.
Mhm.
And we do it all the time.
And
So-
Jim, that coffee stays like mega hot, doesn't it? In that-
Yeah, this little yeah, I can drink it 4 hours from now and it's still going to be hot. Burns
Wow.
my tongue.
No. It's not that bad, Jim. You have a weak tongue. But anyways, folks, yeah, GritGearApparel.com, LockandLoadCoffee.com. We cannot stress it enough how important it is to put your money into patriotic, true America First companies. And we know they're out there.
Yeah.
We're telling you about these two because we know these two personally. And we know what they stand for, what they believe in. Good Christian folks. I mean, they are just good people. So please support
Everybody
it.
that's
Tell your
watching
friends
and
too.
listening.
Yeah.
They're the same. We're
Yep.
all the same. Well,
We're all the
maybe
same.
there might be some trolls out there. I don't know.
There may be. But again, use coupon code 2guys. You get 10% off your
guys.
first order. 2 guys. And make sure you do that. Free shipping, everything over $125. Jim, I hate to do it. I literally hate to even bring it up. But there was a 3-on-1 debate last night. Listen, if I got we got to hear Kamala for 4 years, maybe even 8. We won't even survive that long. But go on, Jim. Give us. You were there. You were live with
We
the
did the-
Patriot
we did the
Network
watch-
doing a live
Yeah. we
last
did the
night.
watch
Thank you for
party.
representing 2 guys on that too. I appreciate your time, Jim, for doing that. So, but go on. Tell me
She
your
started
thoughts.
off the night,
Mhm.
Kamala, by saying that President Trump is going to do nothing but lie the whole time.
Yes.
Okay. And so
So right from the get-go.
that's from the get-go.
Yep.
And then the first time the moderators bailed her out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The abortion, late-term abortion. President Trump referred to the Virginia governor. Got a video of that.
Ex-Virginia governor. Mhm.
Ex-Virginia governor, right. Got a video of that where the governor, fact check. It was right.
Yep.
They didn't. They fact checked President Trump all night
All
with
night.
this stuff. Well, nowhere out there. Like for instance, when the female moderator said, because I don't even want to mention their names. I'm
No,
not
I
going to
don't
mention
either.
their names because
We
this
know.
is the most horrific. I mean, we are
Horrific.
talking. This is worse than when Megyn Kelly actually had the in your face with President Trump during that.
Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
that was
which wasn't a lie.
right.
either.
It was
Yep.
terrible.
Terrible.
But she sat there and she goes, "Well, nowhere out there is a state allowing abortions after children." And I got a map that I'm going to show here pretty soon.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. But again, they had to make abortion the topic.
Yes.
And then, of course, my favorite one towards the end, climate change was brought up.
Climate change.
Well,
Yep.
President Trump doesn't believe in climate change. No, there's a lot of us don't believe in climate change.
Yeah.
It's called erosion, folks. Anyway,
Yeah. It's called-
so
called
we look
cyclical.
at
Happens
you
all
look
the
at all
time.
this stuff. It was literally 3-on-1. They were helping her out every step of the way, every time. And folks, let's be perfectly clear. That Kamala Harris that you saw on that stage last night did well. I'm not gonna sit there and say we were hoping that she was gonna fall on her face. She did well because ABC made sure she did well.
Correct.
And people made sure she did well. She was
Correct.
prepared.
Mhm.
There was no substantial information on there.
No.
The one thing that bothered me about the debate, and we'll get into more of all this from your standpoint too. But what really bothered me is President Trump didn't bring it up until the end, his closing statement.
Which was great.
As
The
she
closing statement
was
was great.
making these comments, as she's making these comments throughout there, the first thing I would have let off with is, why haven't you done that? You 3.5 years you've been in control. Why couldn't you went down to the office and woke up your boss, which is kind of
I know, which is what he said.
And tell him, hey, I think this is a great idea. I think this should be done. No, none of that was done during the time. So why are we to believe she's going to do it now?
Correct.
Why are we to believe she's going to do it? So it bothered me a little bit. But what the moderators and Kamala did during the whole debate was kept him on the defensive.
Yes. Yes.
And they kept making these comments, and he had to come back and defend it. They brought up Charlottesville again. Not the clip, the actual clip of what it said. They brought it up again. They brought up Project 2025. So
which
President Trump had to spend 30 to 40 seconds talking about that.
Yep.
And so that's what their goal was.
It was terrible. They did exactly what I thought they would do, ABC. Exactly what I thought they would do. And it doesn't help that the president of ABC is very close friends with Kamala Harris. Anybody shocked? Anybody surprised? No, we knew this.
This was,
it was a setup. It was and I'm not, I don't want to say that, well, Trump fell for the, he should have never agreed to any of that. He didn't
not
have
on
to
ABC.
Debate.
He went on.
He didn't
CNN.
have to debate. He doesn't even
have
to
on
debate.
CNN. That was no. I felt he needed to debate her, but the first debate should not have been at ABC.
Yeah.
You want to do something? The first debate should have been
where?
Fox.
Where?
Somewhere like that.
Oh, she would have never agreed to that.
CNN for that matter. Because those two moderators did well on CNN.
Jake Tapper did pretty well. Yeah, I agree.
Now they're idiots. They're complete total idiots. They don't.
But it wasn't that. It wasn't what we saw
this.
last night.
I mean, it was
last night was. Oh.
And when she asked, the female moderator asked the questions. Did you see the condemnation that she had when she was talking to him?
I know.
The total disrespect. This was a president of the United States.
Correct.
If people would have talked to President Obama that way, they would have had a cow.
Would have been. Yep. Exactly.
And
she was a condescending,
but
absolute bitch.
Him on the defensive. They kept him on it to where he couldn't say the things that he wanted to say because he had to defend again.
And what was with the muted microphones, Jim? What was that? Yeah, they didn't really mute them, did they?
No.
No,
but the reactions, and I know I think you've got some things on her, but Kamala Harris's reactions when they were showing her on the side, come on, that was the most childish and immature thing you would ever have. But you and I talked about this before we started the show. That's what the liberals think of everyone else. They're up here. You're an idiot. I laughed at you because you're stupid. And that's exactly what she was doing.
Correct.
President Trump hardly ever looked at her. Yeah, he made some facial moments because especially when she would lie and he would look like that because it's painful. The entire time she lied the whole time. ABC, the whole point of this was to make her look good, not the idiot that we've been seeing for the past 3.5 years. Make her look good.
Yep,
they did. Right. It worked.
They did. It worked.
Of course it did. Look who said. Taylor Swift. We were all waiting, weren't we?
Weren't we all waiting for her
freaking
opinion?
Yeah, that was really. She she was never.
Come
gonna,
on.
anyway.
Well, Jim,
And
show
this-
some of your stuff here.
Well-
Present some of your stuff.
Okay, I'm not gonna play the whole video because it's 4 minutes long, but I'm gonna play somebody who absolutely does not like President Trump. Okay,
Well,
she's not been quiet about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she doesn't like him anymore. She interviewed him,
well,
but
she might
she respects him
a little more now than she did before. But she's
correct.
would not be considered someone. But listen to the beginning because this is how we all felt.
I'm disgusted. I'm ashamed of those moderators at ABC News. They did exactly what their bosses wanted them to do. The person who runs ABC News is a close personal friend of Kamala Harris.
Yep.
That is responsible for Kamala Harris and her husband meeting. And they did Dana Walden's bidding tonight. It was 3 against 1 on that debate stage this evening. Hi, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly, a special program tonight for you reacting to the debate. It was 3 against 1. It's very easy to look like you know what you're doing when both moderators are entirely on your side. Trump did the best he could under the circumstances, but it really was like 3 fighters in the ring pummeling one opponent. And Trump tried to take them all on. He did fine. He did as best as he could. He was thrown a few times to the point where he was unnecessarily defensive and he was getting angry. And so was I. Were you? This was a mistake.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we got
that goes
so
on
upset.
for 4 minutes, and it's great.
Yeah.
By the way,
We got
Here,
so
it's Megyn
upset
Kelly, of course,
last night that Maurice from the Patriots Prayer podcast, he actually had to leave because it was an insult to America to watch this happen.
It was.
So
Absolute
we
insult.
want to do, because CNN chose to fact check President Trump, but they never fact check Kamala.
ABC.
So ABC, excuse me. So we go back and let's go back to a presidential debate.
Yep.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Presidential debate for the Democrats a few years ago.
Yeah.
In recent days, former Vice President Biden has said about executive orders, some really talented people are seeking the nomination. They said, I'm going to issue an executive order. Biden saying there's no constitutional authority to issue that executive order when they say I'm going to eliminate assault weapons, saying you can't do it by executive order any more than Trump can do things when he says he can do it by executive order. Does the vice president have a point there?
Some things you can, many things you can't.
Let's let the senator answer.
Well, I mean, I would just say, hey, Joe, instead of saying no, we can't, let's say yes, we can.
Let's be constitutional. We got a
And
constitution.
yes, we can.
That was on gun control.
God. Huh?
That's gun control.
It's gun control.
Remember how she wasn't going to go in and take your guns?
But she's
Because
flopped
she and
now.
Walls
She's a
are
changed
gun
woman.
owners.
Yeah.
Okay, so the abortion. Remember when President Trump brought up the Virginia governor? Well, let's hear that.
No exception. There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on third trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion, even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth. And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage of labor. Do you support her measure and explain her answer?
Yeah, and I wasn't there, Julie, and I certainly can't speak for Delegate Tran, but I would tell you first thing I would say, this is why decisions such as this should be made by providers, physicians, and the mothers and fathers that are involved. There are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion. But again, we want the government not to be involved in these types of decisions. We want the decision to be made by by the mothers and their providers. And this is why, Julie, that legislators, most of whom are men, by the way, shouldn't be telling a woman what she should and shouldn't be doing with her body.
And do you think multiple physicians should have to weigh in, as is currently required? She's trying to lift that requirement.
Well, I think it's always good to get a second opinion, and for at least two providers to be involved in that decision, because these decisions shouldn't be taken lightly. And so, I would certainly support more than one provider.
All right, let's go back to the phones now for the governor. We're going to talk now with Mike, who's calling.
So what is
Baby's
that?
born.
Baby's born. Baby's
President
born.
Trump was right. That was the
Mhm.
former president of Virginia.
Yeah, governor.
The baby was born.
In
Make
Virginia.
it comfortable
Mhm.
until they decide what they want to do with it.
Yep.
It.
Murder. What
Baby.
What they want to do with it.
It's a living thing.
Yeah.
So if they decide, oh
been
my
living.
gosh, it could potentially have some problems. Yeah, let's
Let's just murder it.
It's disgusting.
It.
But again, there was no fact checking from CNN.
Nope.
It
There was not.
fact-checked this. And I
There was
want to
not.
show. I want to
Show a
show.
slide.
Can I show this slide? And it's
Yep.
of the. Okay. Remember when they said there are no late term abortions, and Kamala Harris was asked that question, and she
Correct.
just started laughing about it and said, "Oh, of course."
Oh, it's made up.
And then
Of
went
course
on.
there isn't. And they
never,
moved
they
on.
never brought her back. Okay.
course not.
Now, granted, in defense, President Trump never really answered a lot of the questions directly he had because he was spending too much time defending himself.
Yeah.
So, but here, look at this state, guys.
Mhm.
This is the map of the United States.
Yes.
I want you to notice the blue.
Dark blue.
No restrictions based on gestational duration.
Yep.
I see some blue on here.
Yep. Sure do.
Okay.
2, 3,
The light
4, 5,
blue
6,
is up to
7,
third trimester.
8 states are blue, and Virginia's up to third trimester. When does the third trimester end, Jim? At birth.
At birth.
So the day before, while it's happening in labor, it's the same thing.
Third term abortion.
Third term abortion, people.
This is babies survive if they're
correct.
premature and come out during the second term.
Yep.
Trimester.
That's right.
Second trimester.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The-
More states than that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 states that allow no restrictions.
And
10
what I don't
states.
like about this near total ban,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit misinformation here.
It sure is.
Okay, that
Mhm.
there are no total. There are some states that want total bans,
Yeah.
but it's not going to happen.
What does
because
near
there's-
total ban mean? What does
means
that mean?
nothing. See,
That means nothing.
exactly. It's
Yep.
I'm sorry, right here. You can't see where I'm at, but up to 12 weeks and up to 15 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are what most Americans, and I'm talking 75% of Americans on polls.
Correct.
That's what we all agree on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So stop this crap, this lying about, oh, there's no late. Yes, there are. There are late term abortions. There are in California, in Minnesota. California is about ready to change that too.
Correct.
That you can have it
Absolutely.
up to.
They're
So-
already up to 20 to 26 weeks in California. And I love when the former governor said this, we don't want government interfering in, a woman's choice and all that. Well, what did Roe versus Wade do? You were fine with that. You don't like government interfering when it doesn't fit your agenda. So I don't want to hear the bullshit anymore about government interference as well, because they were fine with that when it was codified. So,
and we brought up Charlottesville again.
oh, they did.
In Snopes, of all places, Snopes has debunked this.
Yes.
But again, we're going to get into uninformed voters, Dale, because I think we need to bring that
I
up.
froze.
No, you didn't.
I
You're
went
good.
away.
No, you didn't. You're good.
Okay.
You're still here.
Okay, good.
Folks, here's the actual what he said.
Yes.
And you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
Yeah. So there you go, folks. Because that's the truth.
They
That's
try
the truth.
Whatever they do, they try to. They don't. The uninformed voter. We talked about this last night on the panel. When they asked me, the worst the problem that we have with our voter platforms and everything else is the uninformed voter.
Yes.
They don't listen. They don't go out and do their own research. They just hear what they want to hear. They just do that. So that's why she brought it up. That's why she brought it up. She knew it was wrong. And President Trump even called her out on it. She knows that that's been debunked, but she keeps bringing it up. Yep. Why? Because he had to defend himself.
Yes, again.
But most of the people that hate President Trump are already going to say, "Yeah, see, look at that, look at that." Yeah,
it wasn't even the people that hate President Trump are never going to vote for President Trump. That's not the whole point of that. The whole point of this was that there are still independent voters out there. There are still people, and it's crazy to me to even think that the independent voter can sit here and think, "Oh no, there's no illegal immigration. No, my food doesn't cost higher. My energy bills aren't higher. There's nothing. There's no inflation." If you're uninformed at this point, you're either one living in a cave somewhere and you're off the grid and you have no bills at all, or you're just plain stupid. There's no uninformed voter anymore. We
played video of people being interviewed that say there's no border problem. We played videos that uninformed voters. These are
I don't know that they're uninformed. They're just
I related to a few of them.
Well,
I'm related to a few of them, and we can say uninformed voters, stupid voters, ignorant voters, whatever you want to say,
whatever you want to call them.
They're dangerous to this because they don't do their research.
Yeah,
they watch CNN or they listen to Rachel Maddow, and that's what their news is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. That's how they do it. Now there was
they won't get outside that bubble. They'll never go beyond that.
Now there was a CNN panel. That was done right afterwards. Now, again, everybody on the CNN panel, there was, I think it was 67-33, where they felt Kamala Harris won the debate. Whatever.
Of course, which is a very high number considering there were 3 against 1.
3 against 1 is So, but here is as far as the economy goes.
Yeah.
All right, CNN.
What did you see that brought you to a conclusion?
I'll get to that in a minute, but this was a panel afterwards. I'm going to get to the percentage thing, but let's do this first.
What did you see that brought you to a conclusion?
I think it's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
Now, little does everybody know that that woman has been incarcerated. Her bank accounts have been frozen.
Seized.
Frozen and
her children taken away,
and the cameraman and the reporter were fired for not cutting her off.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm joking, guys. But maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But here's what I was talking about.
There it is.
All right. So before the debate, 37% felt Kamala Harris would be better handle the economy. I want to meet those 37%.
I do too.
53%. After the debate, President Trump went up
2 points.
So again, the economy is always the big thing, folks.
It's the dinner table
always
topic.
the big things.
Yes.
How is she leading overall?
Yeah.
How?
It's
okay.
Not. Don't believe them.
Here's something else. Okay, we heard Dale has a video.
Oh,
and I want to point this out. We've heard this, and I don't know. Okay. Somebody either had to give her the questions before this debate. Or she had some kind of earpiece in.
Yep,
because never have I seen her that able to answer just like
There's
that.
no
Just
way.
be able to rattle these things off.
Yep,
Throw these
there's no way.
statistics.
She knew exactly the questions. She knew the topics. She knew exactly what was happening.
I don't know if this is real. All I'm telling you, this is what's been said. This is what's going on.
Those listening and not watching, she's wearing a set of earrings. right?
Yeah, and there's this comment saying that the Nova H1 audio earrings aren't your average ear candy.
Correct.
So they
Now,
actually
do you want me
show
to
a
play the
girl
video
wearing-
now before you finish?
Yeah.
Or
Let's play the video. Let me remove this.
All right. So here we go. Let me just. I'm going to have to add this, and here we go. Listen to this. Same earrings.
If you thought earrings were merely a fashion statement, think again. Nova's H1 audio earrings is the world's first wireless earphones made with real pearls. Unlike conventional earrings, these earrings are placed on the earlobes and project the sound from inside the pearl straight into your ear canal. This directional sound technology can avoid sound leakage and keep conversations and music private and secure.
Yeah, folks.
Now let's bring that picture back up.
Yep. The exact
kind of familiar,
same earrings. The exact same.
So look, and because you could tell.
Would that surprise anybody if this was true?
When she wasn't staring at President Trump.
Yes.
And making all of her damn faces that she was making.
Yep.
She was looking down and kind of doing this. And you could tell she was listening to something.
Concentrating on
Right.
what the next answer should
Call
be.
me a conspiracy theorist all you want to.
Nope.
She had help.
She did.
Okay. Never
doubt
have.
about it.
If that woman that was on the debate in front
Mm-hmm.
of 20 million people won't be interviewed by a network.
Correct.
And
Won't have a
only
press
went on
conference.
CNN if her vice presidential candidate was with her.
Yeah.
Are you
Correct.
kidding me?
Yeah.
So she was standing up and she was that good? No.
Yeah. Nope.
No. Not good.
She's never
And then
going to get to a press conference. She's never going to get to it. So here's this one too.
on the
about
abortion.
Mhm.
Remember how they
Yeah.
said, oh, no, they don't have under Governor Tim Walz, babies born alive in botched abortions were left to die.
Yep.
Then he removed the reporting requirements. You know
Correct.
what that means?
Yes.
They don't have to report it.
No.
Babies
It's just
die.
done.
Babies
It's just
die.
absolutely done.
Baby
that point.
botched abortions. Oops, baby's
Yeah.
alive, which I thought for sure that they were supposed to be resuscitated if they're born alive, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So for all you people out there who want to sit there and say that, oh, this isn't, oh, this is not it. Sorry, all you pro-lifers. This is what you're asking for.
This is what you're correct.
Now, there are a lot of people that don't care.
Yep.
You see that one woman that set out she wants to go ahead and get pregnant 43 times so she
Correct.
can have 43 abortions.
Correct. Uh-huh.
You're probably going to find only one guy to sleep with her 43 times because I can't see anybody else sleeping with her. But
yeah,
that's the way that it goes. And
Let me put up. You got any more slides?
Nope, that's it.
I'm just going to put up some comments, Jim. Okay.
Yep.
You making this big? I did it. So there we go. Murder is murder. Why is this even a topic in our country? If you engage in sex, you already know some of the outcomes that may happen, like getting pregnant. Agreed. Murder is murder. She most definitely was wearing an earpiece. Abs 100%. Let's go back a couple here. Buckeye. So if they make this choice, it's reproductive rights. But if someone is to murder a pregnant woman, it's a double homicide charge. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And then, well, ABC didn't specifically say she couldn't wear an earpiece, so naturally she did. Yeah.
And then here's another one from Buckeye. This was true.
Yep.
She was
smiling when he mentioned he took a bullet. Yeah, it's exactly what happened. And when he brought up, oh, I'm sorry.
Oops, sorry, you weren't done. Sorry.
When he brought up the Springfield animals, she is a sick woman. So speaking of Jim.
Yep. Okay, so
Buckeye, our good producer.
remember
friend
when
here.
CNN, this took me 30 seconds. 30 seconds
find.
to fact check.
It's all over
okay?
the place. Yeah.
And yeah, that's why it only took me 30 seconds.
Correct.
Because it was all over the place. ABC debunked. We talked to the city official, and he said that was how he said it was that wasn't happening, and that's not exactly what the city official said.
Correct.
It was, haven't heard any. Well, folks, whether you want to believe this or not, watch this.
Yep.
Why'd you kill the cat? Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with it.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah, she was.
You call the Humane Society, see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
Yeah, Jim, it's not happening. It's not happening anywhere.
ABC knew that was out there.
Yep.
This was out there when we showed the video of those people at Springfield, Ohio, talking about it. That video was out there. That video had already been there.
Yep, correct.
ABC, this is how sick they are. They knew that video was out there.
Yep.
They told President Trump that, well, we just fact checked it. So again, uninformed voters aren't going to look at that.
Aren't going to look at that. They're not going to go see it. They're not going to try to find it. Correct.
So anyway, that's what we've been dealing with, guys. That, I don't think he should have went on it, but President Trump, like he always is, he's not afraid to.
No, he's not.
He'll go on the enemy territory anytime, any day.
This little honeymoon on the debate thing will last maybe the remainder of this week. Then we're, that's as long as it's now. The media is going to push it and press it and keep going with how great Kamala did and all that. But more and more that comes out, she's still never going to do a press conference. She's still never going to do any of those things. She's going to go hide away like she has been and or take fluff piece interviews like she did on CNN. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
So we need to just keep reminding people of exactly what the hell they've done. So Biden-Harris accomplishments. Go.
And let me, look, you and I talked about this, and we need to tell our listeners this, and we need to keep it. Folks, she has radical followers. The pro-life,
the most radical senator,
the Green movement, the people that believe we're dying and all that stuff. You know how radical they are. You see them. They go around, they destroy things every chance they get. She's talking about legalized fracking.
Yeah.
She's talking about all these things, right? She's talking about walls. And nobody is her side is not screaming and yelling. AOC is not going out in the street and screaming and saying, what the hell are you talking about? Because why, Dale?
Because they know it's bullshit. It's to garner and get votes. Bernie Sanders admitted it.
Yep.
On air. Bernie Sanders admitted that what she's saying, well, she's got to do what she's got to say. She's got to say what she's got to say in order to win. I mean, they say the quiet parts out loud. So here's their accomplishments. Allowed a minimum 15 million unvetted illegals into this country. Historic inflation crisis. Record high gas prices in all 50 states. Record high consumer debt. Nobody talks about that, but record high consumer debt. Released terrorists into the country. So here we are on the anniversary of 9/11 talking about that happening. Ukraine-Russian war, Israel-Hamas war, disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, violent crime skyrocketing, tried to jail political rival in the name of democracy, lied to American public about Joe's decline, declared war on American energy, record low test scores for K through 12 students still, and she was the most unpopular vice president in our history. And she's leading in the polls.
Yeah.
Don't believe it, folks. Do not believe it. It's not happening. But
it's frustrating.
But we have to vote. You have to go out there and vote. You must vote. It's important to vote, regardless of what's happening. That's really our only means to counteract their potential cheating coming up, as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
that's it. So, folks, let's. I want to play, if you guys don't mind, because we haven't talked about them yet today. But I do want to play a Warrior Shield. Again, it's so important that we continue to support them and this great cause. So we'll be right back.
Warrior Shield Foundation is here to unite, honor, and provide support for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members. The foundation will enable them to find the help they need through direct assistance or by connecting them with our Shared Vision Network. Using data-driven models, we provide solutions that make a long-lasting difference. We, along with our partners, are dedicated to bringing together like-minded groups and individuals who have committed to making a difference in the lives of our hardworking, everyday heroes. We bridge the gap by connecting warriors or their families with the assistance they deserve and require, such as service dogs, wheelchairs, counseling, scholarships, and team building retreats, to name a few. You can help right now to make a difference for those who have helped and protected us all. Warrior Shield Foundation, selflessly doing for those who need it most.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone. Just look to your left and look to your right. You were born to fight. You gotta light 'em up.
Folks, that is warriorshield.org. It's up there on your screen. Thank you, Buckeye. Thank you, Jim, for putting that
And don't
up there.
forget, just because the event is over this past weekend, the donations still go on. The fundraising still goes on. So please go to warriorshield.org and donate if you can. 5, 10. They don't care. They don't care. 5, 10, $15 does not matter. Maybe don't go buy that Starbucks coffee for the week.
Correct.
Or for the day.
Nobody is. Yeah. For the day even. Yeah.
You know, send it to a cause that means something. And kind of go that route. But always their fundraising continues. Continues on through the year.
Yep. Jim, I was going to ask you, and I meant to do this before the show, so I don't want to put you on the spot here, but do you happen to have Natasha's national anthem handy and available?
Yeah, I need to go look.
Yep, that's all right. You can go look. In the meantime, I'll talk about a little bit about the Warrior Shield again and how important it is to support that charity who then supports other nonprofits. So that nonprofit who supports other nonprofits, like they did with Sub-Zero mission, who are there getting homeless vets off the street. I think it's more important than ever. Yep. Jim's got it. That's all right, Jim. Go. I'd like to play that, and then we can close out the show if you don't mind, because I think we need that today more than ever. We need it every day, but I think we need this today more than ever, especially on the anniversary of 9/11.
Folks,
we need
if
to
you
be
haven't
united,
heard it,
folks.
You're in for a thrill.
If you have not, yep, you are. Amazing. This is Natasha Owens, country recording artist, patriotic country recording artist. You might remember her from songs like Trump One, or there was her latest, The Chosen One. If you don't know her, NatashaOwensMusic.com is where you can find her. But go ahead and Jim, if you
You're
don't
exactly
mind
right, Dale. Today of all days.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous height, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket
Man, Jim,
Goosebumps
the most
every
powerful national anthem
It's
I've ever heard.
NatashaOwensMusic.com, folks.
Please,
It's that
please.
and others. She's phenomenal.
Yep.
Yep.
Want to do that. Again, I want to mention briefly too, Subsecond. They're a service disabled veteran owned company. They make tactical belts and gear. SubsecondLLC.com. Please go visit them. We hope to have them on soon and get them all involved with Two Guys, One Coon, the Patriots Prayer Network, and everything that's going on here. Folks, again, we appreciate you joining us today and your support and your comments and your listenership. We got to mention here, please go to this rumble/thepatriotsprayer.com. That's rumble/thepatriotsprayer.com. That's where you can find our show. You can find everybody else who's on the network show. And please follow, and share that.
That's important. Yeah.
That's important. It's super important to do that. So if you're new to the show, or you're just listening, or you don't know where to find us, or however it is, either way, if you could just do us a favor and go to rumble/thepatriotsprayer.com and give a like, follow, and share. It really helps the network and helps people to find us and get the network out there and everything else. There it is. .com. No, she's got a couple typos in there, but anyways, it's rumble.com/the Patriots Prayer. She knows. She found it. She knows exactly what it is. I was wrong. Please go do that. Like, follow, and share. It really helps us out. Jim, you got anything else here before we close out?
No, just kind of hug your family today.
Yep.
Just take some time to, appreciate what today is, what the memory of today is. We had an atrocious debate last night. It was terrible. I can't see anybody but Rachel Maddow thinking that it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. I mean, it was terrible. But let's not lose faith. Let's not lose faith. But first of all, maybe let's put our disagreeing aside for today.
Yep.
And remember that we lost Americans 23 years ago by a terrorist attack. That unlike the professor from New York University, it was, in our opinion, it was unprovoked. It's just there's a lot of hate out there against the United States because who we are. And how's it going? How's it going with the left being in there saying, giving them everything?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're gonna give you, we'll work with you. We're gonna. One of the comments that was made, an American was killed. American captor was killed in Israel by Hamas.
Yep.
How easy would it be for us to say to them, let him go, or we're going to come and get you. We're going to wipe all of you out.
In a minute.
And if you kill them, it's going to get even worse. And mean it.
Yep.
This administration, nope.
Nothing's happened.
They want to negotiate.
Nothing's happened.
Which means they want another $6 billion.
Correct. Nothing has happened.
Do not forget that. Even though ABC didn't talk about it a whole lot last night, and they kind of cut President Trump off when he said it.
Yep.
The Biden administration gave them the $6 billion that President Trump held from them because of their support for Hamas, Hezbollah, and all the terrorist groups.
That's right.
Let's not forget that. And that money now is being used against Israel and eventually against us.
Correct. Yep. Eventually against us. Jim, thank you again for your participation and your hard work on this. Thank you again to all the listeners. Please, again, go to rumble/thepatriotsprayer.com. Like, follow, and share. It really, 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 really helps the network and helps get this podcast and other podcasts on the network out there. It's important because we have to tell the truth. We have to assure that our republic stands and that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz do not become the next leaders of this country. Super important to do that. I think we know that. We got to keep spreading it. It is, we are down to the wire, folks. We got to get this message out. So, Jim, thank you again. Thank you, everybody. And we will be back Monday. We will see you then. Jim, you good?
Yep.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.